Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com. We have a great show today, but before we get to that, I wanted to remind you of a few things. We have 2 great books on Amazon that will help you get the Big Four job that you deserve, and I've included links to those books in the show notes. Additionally, I wanted to remind everyone to make sure that they subscribe to this podcast to stay up to date on the latest Big Four news and career tips. Also, make sure to share the show with a friend if you get a chance. Lastly, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'll include links to all our social media in the show notes. Thanks and enjoy the show. Today, I wanted to discuss the tragedy on the Las Vegas Strip. As you most likely have heard, an accountant named Stephen Paddock went crazy on the Las Vegas Strip on October 1st, 2017. He killed more than 50 people in the mass shooting, and it is the largest mass shooting in U.S. history. Now, he was no longer a practicing accountant, but instead he was retired. And I wanted to take this time to offer my thoughts and prayers to those impacted by this tragedy. And I have some family in the region, and I was glad to hear that they were safe. I also wanted to take this time to speak about accounting and mental health. Accounting is a tough profession, and I'm not trying to say that Stephen's job led to this massacre. I just wanted to stress that accountants are usually very ambitious people that forget to take care of themselves mentally and can get frustrated about their lives because our jobs are very monotonous. We are good at following the rules and being frustrated our whole lives. And this is especially true in the Big Four, where people talk about staying for only 2 years as an accomplishment. People say that if you can make it in the Big Four for 2 years, then you'll be set for the rest of your life. Or at least this is what I've heard for most of my career. This is seen as an accomplishment because the Big Four will take everything you've got and spit you out. They'll make you work long hours and put you in stressful situations. You'll meet people with bad personalities, and you'll have to deal with them. And the point that I'm trying to make is that we all need to take time and make sure that we are mentally okay. If you don't like where you are headed in life or in your career, or you feel like you're alone, then reach out and get some help. Don't just sit there and get frustrated and build up and start blaming and getting angry at other people. That's not what life's about. That's not what your career is supposed to be about. There are therapists out there, friends, family, and groups that are out there to help you. Don't isolate and don't get yourself in a bad situation mentally, because bad things can happen. It can affect your health and it can affect other people's health. And I'd also like everyone to check in on their friends and make sure that they are okay. Ask them how they are doing and if there's anything bothering them. We all need to start supporting each other and looking out for each other in this world if we want to prevent this type of stuff from happening. As accountants, we can look out for each other and help each other versus drilling each other into the ground by making everyone work long hours, or berating somebody if they don't get something technically right. We can all work with each other and we can all be nice. We can treat each other like human beings instead of cogs in the wheel of a for-profit system. And the lack of ethics in accounting headlines and this tragedy show that we need to focus more on ourselves and making sure we are doing the right things to take care of ourselves and others. The Big Four accounting firms are unique in that their product is professional services, which means their product is their people. This means that they employ hundreds of thousands of professionals across the globe. With so many people working in the accounting industry, we can make a huge impact in the world, and we can make a positive impact. And accountants can show that we can change the world for good if we start bringing positive change to the world versus just scandalous headlines. So I'd like to end today's episode by asking you to reach out to a friend or a colleague tomorrow and say something positive to brighten up their day and show that accountants can change this world for good, starting with yourself. To stay up to date on all accounting news, make sure to subscribe to this podcast. We're a growing podcast and a growing business, and appreciate your help in growing. So if you could share this podcast with a friend and give us a good review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate that, as it would help us grow and provide you with the best Big Four content and career tips. Thanks for listening.